This is Vee Trades, and today I'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Uber Technologies Inc. Uber is an American technology company who offers ride-hailing, food delivery, package delivery, and much more. Before we begin, please take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more chart analysis. Also, thank you to those who already subscribed and like my videos. It means a lot. Just a reminder that I have no positions in this company, so I'll give an unbiased viewpoint. We will start out the technical analysis by going over what I see on the daily chart and potential price targets, and then we'll wrap it up by looking over the long-term pattern on the weekly chart. Here we have the daily chart for Uber, and the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add the 21 bar EMA. There you go. And the first thing that I noticed about the stock is that price was in a range for the most part, and now we're also going sideways down here. But first I'm going to map it out. This would be the highs of the range, the $60 level, and then the lows of the range where the most closes are is the $49 level. So as you can see here, price was in the range since last year November, and then we had a breakout at the top. Price fell back in, found resistance twice, sold off on the other side. Since we had the break on the top, we had the break on the other side on the bottom. We rallied back up inside the range, was chopping back and forth in this really small range for a few months, and now we broke out and found resistance, and now we're coming back to test it again. So if we see that double test, that's not really a good sign for Uber, because if we do something twice and we fail, most likely we're going to do the opposite. That's just the rule of the market. The market moves in twos. If we zoom out a little bit on the daily chart, we can see that Uber was in this uptrend for the most part. That fits really nice right there. I'm going to make it a different color so it doesn't blend in with the range. Let's make it like a yellow. So we had this leg up, a correction, and then the second leg up, and found resistance at the top of the channel 3 times. We had this overshoot. An overshoot is when we break outside of the channel, and that leads to the same pattern on the other side, which we got over here. So that's why it's pretty similar to the range. We had a breakout at the top of the range, and that's why we got the breakout on the bottom of the range. And also since we still need to make a new high of the channel, because if we have a first break, which we did over here, usually we'll get a new high, but if we have an overshoot, sometimes we don't even make that new high again, and price just sells off. The reason I'm more bearish is because of this downward channel. So price is making lower highs, so that's never a good sign for an uptrend. That's why we're in a downtrend. As you can see here, this was the high, the new high. It was above this one, and then we made a lower one, and then we made a lower one, and this is about the same level, and then we make it a lower one. These swings are what I'm talking about. Let's make this a different color also. It's the same color actually. We made it a light blue. So we had about 4 to 5 touches on the resistance side of the channel, so we can go back to the support side. So that's why after we pull back to about the $48 level, $48.75, we could potentially see a large sell-off, because that would make it the double test of the breakout of the range. We would find resistance at the EMA and the channel. So there's a lot of factors influencing my choice to see more downside. So let's go ahead and look at some measured moves. So the first one I saw Uber make was a long time ago. It made this first leg down, and the second leg was right there. So we did overshoot it. That's why we got this V bottom reversal. And then the next one was right here, from the lows of the V bottom and to about right there. And then we had the large sell-off, well, about a medium sell-off, and had some resistance over here before breaking out, and then we came back down. So right here, this measured move marked like pretty much the start of a range sideways action. Now, since I'm bearish on Uber, we're gonna look at some downside targets, which would be the size of this range, and that would take us to the $37 level. I'm gonna go ahead and put a horizontal line there. Give me 1 second. That's perfect right there. That's that $37 level. And also, we had this leg right here and a little correction, so that could also be the center of the pattern for this leg, and it pretty much goes to the it goes a little past it, about $3 more. So that's another target, but most likely it's just going to come back to fill in this gap. As you can see here, Uber was in this gap right here. Go ahead and put, maybe I could circle it for you guys. Right there, there's this gap. So that's what price probably wants to go down to fill, and at that horizontal line was the breakout. So we had 3 highs at the same level, and then price gapped up and broke out, and we didn't come back to test it yet. So normally the market likes to test breakouts at least 90% of the time. If the breakout is really strong, usually they forget about it and just continue the uptrend, which would happen right here. But now, since the market looks weak, there's a good chance we'll probably come back and test it this time at this horizontal level, because we had the breakout, there's a gap, and we got a couple measured moves, and the channel and everything pointing down, even the EMA. So here we have a weekly chart, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the uptrend that price looks like it's in. And on the weekly chart, it doesn't look like we had an overshoot because it fits nicely in here, because the wick comes back down. The EMA shows that we're finding resistance, that price can't break through it, because look at in the past, back in October 2020, price was being supported by it, and then it took off, and then we came back to test it a couple times, and then we had this large candle drop back in early May, and now we're coming back to test the EMA, and we were having a hard time pushing through it. So that's kind of like the same thing over here, where we kind of pushed above it, found support, and we had this blast up, and then now we have this blast down through the EMA, finding resistance. So we could see another blast down, right back down to that $37 level. And then from there, I don't know, since then we had, since that would complete the 2 legs down, we could potentially see the price continue to go up and make that new high of the trend, and that would be about the $87 level, $88 level, and that would be a about 138% price gain. But that's if the market does what it normally does, actually, because if we have an uptrend and we have the first break outside, usually we go make a new high, and usually sometimes even more after we complete these 2 legs down, and the market plays out as I predict, then it could probably go up to that target as I spoke about earlier. So that's all I have for Uber. So in the short term, I'm pretty bearish on Uber because of those factors that I spoke about on the daily chart and the weekly chart. However, after it completes the short-term cycle, we could continue the uptrend to make that new high and potentially reach that $80 level. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my video. Make sure to check out the rest of the channel, since you might be surprised on what you could learn. Leave a comment down below on where you think prices are headed. Lastly, I appreciate any feedback to help improve the channel, since I want to deliver great content to you guys. See you next time. Bye.